Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager with Fireside Chat number 323. That's Snoopy behind me. With the new seating, I don't get a chance to pet the dog, but I assure you I do frequent petting of my dogs. They are very loved. I might add that my home, I believe at this point, owns more dog beds than human beds. My wife makes sure that no matter where they go, they should never be further than 20 feet away from a proper resting place. Hi, everybody. Fireside Chat. And 2 weeks ago with my son, Aaron, on the Fireside Chat that I had him as my guest, he mentioned DINK. I had no idea what a DINK was. By the way, tangential comment number 1 of the many that I make in the course of any given podcast or whatever we call this. So when he said DINK, I said, what's a DINK? It's a very important lesson in that. If you don't know something, don't be embarrassed to say you don't know. And I learned this as I did so much wisdom in my elementary school, at a religious Jewish school, where half the day was religious subjects, half the day was secular subjects. It was very intense. And one of the sayings, I learned a lot of sayings, every one of which has shaped my life. Boy, that would be a great broadcast, sayings that shaped my life. Let's think about that. So one of them is, it is from the second holiest work in Judaism after the Bible, the Talmud. And it's a statement that really got to me. It was, and I learned it in Hebrew, Lo habayshan lomed. The easily embarrassed doesn't learn. Isn't that a great phrase? Do you know how, I'll give you an example of how it really shaped me, because I fell in love with languages in high school. When I already started Hebrew very early, so that was not a challenge. But I did take French in high school, and then I took Russian and Arabic in college. And I had traveled to many countries, as is known to many of you. And when I have started speaking their language, I would frequently say, what is that word you said? I was never embarrassed to ask, what does that mean? And it helped me learn tremendously. Similarly, I wasn't embarrassed to make mistakes. Not just was I not embarrassed to ask, what does that mean? I wasn't embarrassed to make mistakes. And I made some real hilarious mistakes. In Hebrew, the word for, this was my first trip to Israel. I was 18. And I wanted to know, where are the services to Jerusalem? I was in Tel Aviv. And so the word for the service, the car service, is sherut, which is service. So I just walked around asking people, where are, and I used the plural, where are the services to Jerusalem? And they all started laughing. I'm thinking, what did I get wrong? And then I which I had no idea, bathroom is services in the plural. So I was walking around asking people in Hebrew, where are the bathrooms to Jerusalem? Which sounds a little bizarre when you think about it. But I thought it was hilarious. I wasn't embarrassed, thanks to the easily embarrassed don't learn. Anyway, so I asked my son, long way of getting back, but I usually remember where I was. What is a DINK? So it's double income, no kids, DINK. And Megan showed me some videos on, was it TikTok or was it NBC?
Well, both.
Both, yeah. TikTok and NBC.
It's trending on TikTok.
It's trending on TikTok, DINK, because the with it, the cool, as we might have said a long time ago, they're big in favor of DINK, no kids. A lot of people are not even in favor of getting married. You know, single income, no husband, no wife, no kids. So I have talked about this to you many times, and I want to pose it. I want to get into it from a different, slightly different direction than perhaps one I did. Although I may have mentioned this, but this is so critical. It's really worth repeating. Everybody, this is the time of the Fireside Chat each week when I remind you that the rest of the Fireside Chat is at prageru.com. The reason we do that is we don't trust the social media, the big tech giants, to keep us up forever, which is a tragedy that we even think that way, but we have reason to think that way. So we'd like you to get into the habit of watching the Fireside Chat from the beginning at PragerU, ideally with the PragerU app. That's the easiest way. But in any event, visit me now, continue at prageru.com.